Hello, good evening, and good welcome to Xbox Tavern's X-Pod Tavern episode 122nd on this wonderful Sunday evening. I'm Jamie, and this week I'm joined by MPV Graham. Hello, MPV
Good
Graham,
hello
how are
to
you?
you.
Good hello to you. Are you well?
I am well, thank you. How are you?
Good, good. I am spiffing as always. We've also got Millie Man Ian. Millie Man Ian, come on in.
Hello, bitches.
Hello, good welcome, Ian. Good welcome.
Hello,
how are you?
Hello.
I'm good. How are you, Daddy?
Don't make Ross get the picture back out again. Speaking of Ross, we've got Scottish Gruff. Come back in, Scottish Gruff.
Hello.
How are you? Hello.
I'm
hello.
still getting
Welcome.
heebie-jeebies from that photo. Ugh.
Happy Father's Day, everyone. Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Yeah.
Father's Day. Yeah. Have we all had a nice, relaxing day with the kids treating us?
Have, yes.
No,
It's been very enjoyable.
no, it's been
Not
alright.
sure about relaxing.
Serve the cook.
Yeah. That's still part of the fun, though, isn't it? Part of the fun. I didn't, so I've got no legs to stand on. But it's all...
When's the last time you had cooked?
Last time I cooked, does super noodles count? Because if they do, then not that long ago.
Or putting faggots in the oven?
Oh, I love a bit of faggots. Anyway, let's get them on. Sort of cut off on YouTube straight away. Welcome again, like I said, to episode 122 of the Xbox X-Pod Tavern podcast on the Sunday night, which we record every Sunday, 8 p.m. Thank you very much, everybody. We're going to talk all about video games we've been playing, about the news, and certain game called
Starfield.
But we're going to get back to that later on. Let's make sure we get into what we've been playing first, gentlemen. But before we start, I've got a favour from our good friend Daniel, who's put a new competition up on our Twitter page.
Good friend.
Past acquaintance.
Associate.
A person.
Yes.
A man.
The man, the myth, the
children.
legend. He's got a couple of children. Hopefully he's enjoying his Father's Day. Hello. He's put a new competition up on our Twitter page at Xbox Tavern on Twitters. Where you can win a copy of Deceive Inc., which is like a social, like asynchronous multiplayer game, which we reviewed on our website. Got quite a good score from one. I forget who did it now. I should have looked up really, but yeah, go check it out. I think the competition is open until 23rd of June, and all you got to do is just follow Xbox Tavern and tag a friend in the comments below. So good luck, everybody.
Good luck.
Right, let's move on, shall we? To games we've been playing this week. And where's my list gone here? All right, let's get out of the way. Should we? Let's go with Project Game Pass. If you're not familiar, Project Game Pass, where we pick a game every month from Game Pass. We play it, we talk about it. Some of us give it thumbs up, some of us give it thumbs down. Some of us go, "Oh, I didn't even bother playing it," including the game we're playing this month, Cassette Beasts, which I am guilty of. I haven't even touched it yet. But Graham, you've been playing some Cassette Beasts. Tell me more. You were the only one who played it, I think, last week. Tell me a bit more about it, and then we get to Ross because it looks like he's been playing it as well.
Well, not just played it. I actually completed it today.
Yay! That's your first one?
That's the first Game Pass one I've completed, yeah. Yeah, just great fun. It's got a weird old storyline, but it's kind of easy enough to get into without being too mental. But yeah, it plays in a very similar style to sort of the Pokemon games, but with sort of interesting kind of features. So main kind of differences being is you are playing as your character as well as the beast that you transform into. So if you get knocked out of your monster state, you're kind of exposed as a human for a little bit. And if you get knocked out as a human, you can't generate any more kind of beasts, and that that person's kind of out. And I mentioned it last time I was on here as well. There it allows for kind of fusions, so you can literally combine any kind of two different monsters together, and it just kind of joins the name together in sort of weird and wonderful kind of names, and it allows you to use both of their moveset. So that's pretty cool as well. And
so they do a little dance and go fusion.
Not very sort of Dragon Ball Z style.
But it would have been in then.
But they still have the sort of the random name combination that Dragon Ball Z has. Some of them are quite kind of funny. Some aren't as So if you combine two of the same ones, they just become like mega something or something. So
Yeah.
it becomes inventive at the start, but sometimes not so much. The other kind of main differences from the Pokemon games is the way that you can perform moves. You kind of generate one action point per kind of turn, but you can assign different passive skills to sort of either generate more action points on the start or consume, like steal some from the opponent, or just different kind of tweaks to try and get yourself more action points to perform some of the higher kind of moves. So there's kind of neat little tricks to do and sort of a little bit to kind of learn. Once you're to grips with it, it's just so much fun. It's the same kind of hooks that you get, you get from me when you're playing kind of a Pokemon game. It tells you sort of all the different kind of ones to collect and where to find them, and towards the kind of end game as well. Like you hear rumors around town, and they tell you like the ones that you haven't found. It goes, oh, there's one of these hiding around in this area. It tells you roughly whereabouts they are. Some of the rarer ones, and so you can kind of scout around and find those ones as well. And there's a bit of after game kind of task as well, just to keep you going even after you kind of finish the game. So that's pretty cool as well. Just interesting kind of graphically. The story's kind of fun. It plays very much like a Pokemon style game. As you have to beat these sort of giant fused monsters to try and learn about the way to get back to your homeland as part of the story. But there's also another sort of part of the area where you have to find 12 captains and beat them to become a ranger. And you get more side quests by being a ranger as well. So there's plenty of different kind of side stuff to do as well. And there's little mini puzzles to work out, putting blocks on switches. And like you get loads of little neat moves like turboing into blocks to sort of free up some different spaces, or an extra flying move that allows you to glide to certain areas. And just lots to keep you kind of entertained. And playing a game like this on the Xbox is just refreshing, because you just don't really see these kind of games like really done well. I think Ian, you played one, not Nexo one. I think it was something like that. But they do sort of
next one.
But they do sometimes they translate well to the consoles, and if done well, then they become quite impressive games. And I was all over this one, and I kept on it until I completed it, and enjoyed it.
So did you say, I don't know if I missed it because my mic cut out, headphones mean. Did you say there's level scaling, or can you over level and defeat guys?
You can't over level on the story based kind of levels and the main kind of side quests. Like if you like, the captains will always kind of stay around your kind of level, and in the main story they kind of stay around your level, but certain areas of the map they stay in that kind of same leveling state. Kind of similar, like I say, similar to Pokemon. So if you go back to the starter area and you try and find monsters around, they're going to be super weak. Whereas you go to the higher areas, that's where the higher level stuff is. So yes, for certain quests, but not for like monsters roaming around wild.
Yeah, because that's one big thing I liked about Nexomon, was it all scaled whatever level you are. So if you're level, say 50, you're back to the starting area, monsters around you be level 50, and it all scaled around then. So that's what curious.
So I'd say the quests do, but not wild monsters. No.
Oh, okay, cool.
Fair enough. And so obviously, Ross, you've been playing it as well. Have you got anything to add to what Graham had just said? How far have you got in?
The music's fantastic.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
I absolutely love the music. The music is incredible. Cool. I actually, for the first time I put it on, I've been playing it through the PC mostly, but then sometimes on the cloud. And honestly, for the first 10 minutes, I just sat there on the menu screen and just let the music play. Fantastic soundtrack to it from what I've played so far. Graphic wise, it's quite good. It's like, try to imagine. It's almost like they've taken more of Pokemon. I've almost taken like Gen 4 and Gen 5's background graphics, but then like Gen 2 for your character. So he's very pixelated, but then like the rest of the world around it is much more detailed.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
So it's quite cool how it like blends the two of them together. The battling system is without sounding bad, it's ripped straight out of Pokemon. It's exactly the same as Pokemon. Even like sort of the layout of it, where like, so the very first battle that you have, it's like there's two Ys battling this one sort of monster, and again it just looks like you could have been playing any sort of generic Pokemon game. Storylines, I've not got as far into it as Gray has, but storylines quite interesting for the fact it's like this area that you're in, New World, is like its own isolated place. And then it's all about like how everything happened in regards to that. But no, really enjoying it so far. Like I say, that I was blown away with how good the soundtrack of it was. I like the idea that your characters based off, like, so the first thing, like, you get a choice. I think it's like sweet or scary, and that's how you decide your first like monster type idea or your first transformation. I don't know how I managed to miss it when Gray was talking about it last week, but I didn't realize your character was the monster type idea. I know thinking back, I do remember you saying that like you can get knocked out of that stage and then you become more vulnerable. But when it first happened, I was like, oh, I didn't realize it was me that transformed. But so far, really enjoying it. It'll probably be one of the ones that I'll complete as well. Just really enjoying how it goes. Like I say, it's almost a Pokemon game, so there's no reason for me not to fly through it.
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. So, Gray, how long did it take you? Did you say? I don't know if I missed that or not.
Doing everything else kind of with it, the amount I sort of put in, it must have been around under 20, but definitely kind of over maybe sort of 5 to 8. So in between kind of those. It's hard to know because I was doing a lot of faffing around. But yeah, probably around the 10-hour kind of mark if you kind of did everything. And I mean, it'll be way more longer if you try to sort of complete to capture everything, because there's an achievement for it rather than your Pokedex.
Well, don't say that. Look at Ian. His eyes glint. So,
yeah, notice that.
Like you wouldn't have guessed that there wasn't an achievement for that.
So instead of calling it the Pokedex, I think they call it the Beastery.
Yeah, Beastie.
So you've got to call just exactly the same idea as the Pokedex, but
catch them, gotta catch them all.
Damn right.
It's not as easier to catch them either. You still have to kind of weaken them, but the percentages to catch them, the rating is not so high, and you have to hope that they don't knock you out in the process of trying to capture them as well. So it can be a real kind of ball ache at times trying to capture them. And more often than not, what I did is accidentally knock them out when you were trying to capture them, because there's a lot of automation you can put into moves. There's like a move where it retaliates as soon as you hit, or as soon as you enter the match, you hit them, or just at the end of your first move, depending on what you did, you hit them automatically. It's like an automation piece. So there's so many different accidental automation ways that you can knock out a sort of a beast when you're trying to capture it. It could be quite annoying, especially the weaker ones.
You need some false swipe, Ian.
Kind of, yeah.
You need some false swipe. That's what you need.
False swipe, classic.
But you've always got twos. So
She's sitting there like
your partner's the full swipe.
Yeah.
The fuck is false swipe?
You don't want a half swipe, because if you only half swipe, you're not committing fully to the bit, you know. Yeah, I mean, you've lost me completely, all of you, of your Pokemon in references and you're chatting away. And honestly, it sounds like a kind of game I am absolutely going to hate, but I will play it. I promise. I will play it.
You love that POS of called Pikmin, so
yeah, that's a completely different style, though. That's like a almost not tower defense. What's the right word? Like real time strategy type thing, rather than going around collecting Pokemon. But yeah, I mean, Ian, obviously you haven't played it yet. You said, are you going to check it out at some point this week?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, full of confidence there. Full of confidence. It sounds like obviously the title right up your alley.
No, I think I definitely will. Just last week, time got away from me, and obviously took me about 2 days to recover. So.
Yeah,
we'll see. Yeah, definitely.
I know.
This week.
I was still like struggling to catch up on fucking Thursday. I was like, "What? I'm so behind. I don't know where I am. What the fucking day is it?" Oh, getting way too old for this. Way too old for these sort of shenanigans. But yeah, no, good. So, Ross, you enjoyed it. Graham, obviously, you enjoyed it. You completed it.
Yeah.
Are you going to go? You said something about Endgame. Something. Are you going to go back and do some of that, or are you done with it?
I've been doing some of it even right before this.
Okay.
Before we started, I was doing a little bit more of it. So there's a little side quest and everything to kind of build it up. So I don't think I'm going to catch all of the beasts. I don't think I'll have the patience to do that. But yeah, some of the endgame stuff is quite fun. But I have been.
Fair enough.
Wicked.
Good. Well, that is because
I would say one thing, Jay, that might sway you into it. And I know it's not your type of game, but because it plays very much like a Pokemon game, it's perfect for the cloud.
Oh, yeah, but,
In what way?
Just for you obviously play it on a handheld like you would play Pokemon, so it work like you get away with. You know, some games don't translate well to playing on like the mobile and the attachment type idea, but this, because it's basically a Pokemon game, it's like playing it on the Switch.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, that probably will be where I check it out. I've downloaded it on my console, but if I was to play it, it probably would be sitting on the cloud while the kids are stealing the Xbox, and I'll jump on it for an hour or two here.
It's
and
not
there,
like it's exactly taxing to run. So like the internet's not having to get like bits thrown at it left, right, and centre to try and keep it running smooth.
It's like super fast pace action.
I know.
I can't handle it. Yeah, no, I will check it out, and I'm glad you enjoy it. Obviously, Gray and Rush, you getting into it. So what's it called again? Cassette Beasts.
Cassette Beasts.
That's our Project Game Pass game for the month of June. Wonderful. Right, Ian.
Hi.
Let's get to you now. What have you been playing this week? Why do you always say this when I come to you? You always seem like, oh, just don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. You've always got some good stuff on your list. Tell me all about You Suck at Parking.
He's played an absolute belter of a game this week.
Yes.
Which one? You Suck at Parking or the other one?
Let's start with You Suck at Parking. We'll get on to the other one in a minute.
Well, guess what do you want to know about You Suck at Parking? It's a...
Well, I guess you've been playing it for your Chivos.
Of course.
But I quite enjoyed it when I reviewed it. So what have you been doing?
Oh, you reviewed it, did you? Well, I played it because, it's good for Chivos. And obviously they've brought in the online mode now. Well, I didn't know. I had it before, but I think it's a lot more better now, the online side.
I think it was just after launch it came out. I tried one race, I think, and I didn't do very well, and I never touched it again. Yeah,
so now they've got party mode. So obviously me and my teammates from the competition kind of partied up together to get some of the Chivos. But yeah, it's kind of good fun. Again, it's a bit manic. Some levels is like easy as anything. You can just do it, no worries. But then some are just like the difficulty spike is just ridiculous. And you kind of get a bit lucky. I felt from when I first played it, when it first came out, to now, I find you can be a little more easy. Where before, if you braked, you just say it's done. Your car stopped and you have to respawn. Whereas now I feel like you can slowly tap the brake and kind of move a bit slower, and they're kind of a bit more forgiving. Whether that's an update or just I'm getting better at the game, I'm not sure. But I feel like it's an update that they've done it, so it feels a bit more fluid when you're moving.
Yeah, because I think I remember you saying something about that when you first reviewed it, Jay. Like it's like constant motion, so like the car constantly keeps going, and then like once you stop, doesn't matter where you are in the game, that's it, it's done. Yeah,
but I feel like you can't stop and go, but I feel like you can slow down quite a lot.
Down.
And you can like kind of tap the kind of accelerator to kind of move your car slowly around, try and get in the parking space, and it's a bit more forgiving. Whereas before you had to get quite in, you can be on the edge, and it gives you the point.
Yeah, there definitely was, like you said, it required a lot of very specific movement last time when I played it, I should say, because like I said, even if you got even slightly too slow, I was like, nope, you're done. So, I was just slowing down to take the corner.
Exactly, and I feel like when I first did it to now, so much better. You can actually kind of slow down, move around the obstacles and stuff. I think some of the levels, I think all the levels are in online mode. Every now and again you get one that you've played before. But I played for a good 3 hours last night. And I think I only maybe had a couple of repeat levels. Most time was like a different level every time. So it was quite good to see that. Again, it's annoying because you want to learn the map. Like I've just learned this map and like I can't wait to the map for like another hour. It's all random, but I think it's quite like I say for a kind of like party banter game. I say Project Game Pass, it would be quite fitting for it because you can have quite a good laugh with it, and I like how they can kind of knock people's cars away. And if you're going to the parking space and they're slowing down to get to the parking space, you could just full tilt into them and they go flying off. And they get that parking space. I am, even though you can all share it.
Yeah, I think that's what happened in the one race I did. I was at the top of the leaderboard and I went to get the last space and someone just swiped me completely. It was like, oh, it's so hard to get there. And then that was it. I absolutely fucking whiffed it. It's a good little game, though, isn't it? It's a good little fun, challenging game.
Yeah,
the physics can be a bit iffy, but
that's what I mean. I think give it a go now and see if you notice any difference, because like I said, when you first mentioned it, I was like, this is weird. And I played it again this week and I thought, no, I feel like they've given it an update or something where it's a lot more smoother when you're actually moving the car around. So maybe give it a go and see. Like, I want to try doing the career mode now because it does seem quite fun. And again, some levels I've already done from the multiplayer side of things, so I feel like I can get most levels done. And again, you can just keep repeating levels till you get all 8 parking spaces. It's not like it's going to be the end of the world.
Yeah, some of the later ones in the single player, I don't think I actually reached the very end, but I got most of the way through it, and they were hard as fucking bollocks. They were
I think
really tough to get the last, like the hidden space and stuff.
Yeah, I think there's one where it's just like, I think it was like an ice level, and like you had to go through like a massive minefield and then another minefield, then jump a bridge just to get to the corner. And then if you miss the fucking bridge, like, and again, you only got like 2
I know
minutes.
exactly the one you're on about. Yeah.
And I think I did that one, like all the spaces, like literally like last car. It's like, come on, come on, and you're, like trying to get into the space slowly, like, but not too slow because you brake and stop.
Yeah.
But no,
Good.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Surprisingly enjoying it.
Yeah, I think it's a surprising little fun title. Like, I didn't know what to expect of it when I did it again. I thought, oh, okay, it's for score. Let's just not worry about it too much. Let's just get it done. But actually, no, I've actually gone back to it and played a bit more. That's what I kind of like about doing the competition I do, because I play a lot of shit sometimes, but you do find a couple of hidden gems. Like Use Like a Parking, and the other one, which I played earlier, but we'll talk about that afterwards.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that very shortly. I'm going to nip in here quickly then and talk about a game which I think Ross was excited to play. I don't know if he has it or not. It's called Amnesia: The Bunker. Have you not played it yet, Ross, or were you not excited?
I'm waiting for a more opportune moment, as in when I've not got anything planned and I have a wife sitting next to me who will get the living fucking daylight scared out of her when I go to play it.
I mean, it will certainly do that because if you're not familiar with the Amnesia series, they're obviously like first-person horror games. The first one was it Dark? No, not Dark Descent. There was Dark Descent, the first one, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then the spin-off was something of pigs.
Machine for Pigs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And they play a lot on like psychological horror. So in the first game, if you're in the dark too long, you sort of lose your sanity and then you start to see things and eventually you go crazy and die. This one hasn't got that because you spend a lot of the time in the dark, but it's got
Kombat.
It's got combat, which
it's a miracle.
Is surprisingly all right because it's really basic and you don't rely on it. It's more of like a last ditch effort. But it's more akin to you'll enjoy this, Ian. Alien Isolation.
Yeah, go fuck. I
love that game.
It's making me not even want to look into this game at all.
Oh, come on!
Not even load the title.
It's fucking. It's going to be scary shit. All of the Amnesia games are fucking scary.
The way you're talking about it is like, nah, I'm alright.
Yeah.
Nah.
Now I will admit. I mean, I obviously I love a good horror game or two, and that takes a lot to get me properly like worked up in one now because I've played so many and it's like, oh yeah, here comes the thing out the wall, here comes the monster. This fucking I don't know what it's called, but this creature, Jesus Christ, he is a cunt and a half. He is. So the premise is, let me back up a little bit. The premise is you're in this bunker in World War One, and the only way out is to blow up like a destroyed bridge, destroyed exit basically, and you got to find a set of dynamite and the handle for the explosives. That's the only 2 objectives you've got. But along the way, you've got to explore this bunker and try and find, say the key to open the door that gets you into the room with the dynamite, and then you've got to then find dynamite, etc., etc. But the whole time you're stalked by this one creature, and it can go into the walls, scurry around above you, below you, around you, whatever, and then pop out. There's dozens and dozens of these holes in the walls you can come out of. And
yeah.
and a lot of the time you'll be walking around and you can hear him scurrying, but he won't pop out because you're being quiet. As soon as you make a noise like a gunshot or explosion, or even if you break a door open, because there's a lot of physics-based stuff in this game. So if there's a wooden door, you can either try and find a key, or you can just pick up a brick and fucking smash it down. As soon as you do that, you hear him like, and then you're like, oh shit, time to run. So you go and find hide, and when he appears, it makes all the lights like flicker on and off really quickly. So that's how you know when he's nearby. And obviously that makes it harder to see. There's not really any good hiding places because I don't know if you remember us in the Amnesia, the cupboards you could hide in while the enemies like walk past. This one, I hid in the cupboard. He just ripped the fucking door off. He just ripped it off and I was like, well, I can't do anything now.
The more you speak, the more I don't want to play this game. And I already don't want to play the game.
How much money do we need to throw at Ian to live stream the full 100% completion of this game?
Yeah,
One
fuck's sake.
sitting. Like, we'll pay him enough so he can take a day off work and just he plays it from start to finish.
It'll be a charity stream for sure.
Yeah, fucking charity stream, definitely. What's it? Extra life at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Fucking Ian,
so
fucking cold sweats like this.
Yes, that's the gist of it. You're running around. You've got to try and find his items and stuff. You've got to keep you quiet and keep away from him. But the other wrinkle in the armor here, Ian, which is another one you'll like,
No, go on.
there's only one save room.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, yeah, it's only.
I'm out. Fuck.
There's only one save point, as far as I'm aware, anyway, which is in like the main room. You sort of you don't start in, but the main one you get to. And that's the only place you can save, but that's also the only place you can unload stuff into a chest, and also the only place where you can refuel the generator, which powers all the lights around the bunker. The fuel is found out and about, and it takes like I think 5 cans to fully fill it up, and that will last approximately 30 minutes, like real time. And if you don't find enough fuel to fill it up in the meantime, or don't get back in, all the lights just go out. And then wherever you are in the bunker, completely pitch black, can't see a fucking thing. You've got this little tiny hand torch which you have to crank up, which makes an incredibly loud noise.
Like that. Yeah.
You can find a lot. I haven't found a lot yet. But yeah, as you crank it, it makes a really loud noise, which then attracts the monster. But because in the lore they say he doesn't like the light, but in the dark he'll just come out and hunt you down. So once it's dark, he's not even in the walls anymore, just walking around, just trying to
just cut a bit.
And I was playing last night, and I got all the lights went out because I hadn't powered up generator. So I just thought, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to leg it. So I just pegged it back to the main room just to try and save my game. All of a sudden I heard him pop out the wall behind me, chase me right the way down. I got to the safe room. I went to grab the door and shut it. He's like, nope, grab my face. You son of a bitch. I was like, come on, you can do it. Oh, you son of a fucking monster bastard. And the only downside with that is that when you die, it reverts back to your last save. So again, like I said just then, I had done probably about 40 minutes worth of stuff because you have to move slowly, obviously, and even though it's not a massive area, there's so many like ins and outs and nooks and crannies. It can take a while to explore. So I'd explored. I found some items. I found like some like key items. And then he killed me, and now I've got to go back and do that all again. And this was about 1:30 last night. It has a map in the safe room, but not one you can carry around with you.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
So you have to sort of look at it and sort of memorize it, and then you've got a little.
Ian's done. Ian's like,
just like, nope, I'm done.
Fucking gone. You just said too much. I am fucking through with this shit.
Yeah, so you do pick up things you can carry with you, which are like little tiny maps. Like for one is the dormitories with the soldiers. It shows you like where their beds are, but it doesn't show you anything other than that. So that's the only sort of guidance you've got. I
got so upset with the game.
I was going to say, he's just quit. He's like, no, fucking done, gone. Nothing to do with me.
Scared.
Too scared, no.
But yeah, I mean, it's genuinely terrifying. I'm really enjoying it. Even when I do die and I lose like half an hour's worth of progress, because even then I can still quickly whip back and carry on with it. The combat, like you said, Ross, it's not actually combat. It's more if he catches you, you've got like one shot to shoot him and get. And if you shoot him, he'll run away. In theory, anyway. You got a pistol which you carry around, which gives you. You can have 6 bullets, up to 6 bullets in it, but these bullets are really rare to find, and to load them is really, really slow and manual. So you have to hold down a button. He brings up the gun. He empties the empty casings out. And you put one bullet in at a time, really slowly. So if the guy's chasing you, you've got no chance.
Yeah,
God, I feel like I'm playing that game.
You're doing a fantastic job of selling this to you.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, I am really, really enjoying it. I found the dynamite, so I'm halfway through like the objective. I just got to find the handle, but like I said, I went down there, and I need to find an item to open the door to get further down, and that's when the lights went out, and then I was like, dead.
So is there lights in the bunker, or where the safe room, should I say?
Yes, but they're also controlled by the gas, the fuel tank. So if they go out, the only light.
I'm presuming the big guy can't come into the safe room.
Oh no, he can. That's how he killed me, because I got in the safe room. I turned around and he was just there, and I was like, no. didn't get a chance to shut the door.
Not really a safe.
Not really a safe room then, is it?
Not really a safe. I should say save room, I guess, more than safe
Yeah, I was
room.
going to say, it's just a place.
Yeah,
He
I
will.
say,
He will
I'm
follow
a
you
high
everywhere, and he will appear everywhere. And like I said, because you've got that timer, you can take a watch of you to tell you how much time you've got, but it takes up one of your inventory spaces. So I got rid of it, and I completely lost track of time. And then all the lights just went. Oh no! Oh no!
So at that point, are you just gunning it? Just fuck it. Just hope for the best.
I mean, in theory, it's possible to carry on because he'll just roam around as long as you're quiet and you don't sort of get into his line of sight. He won't chase you. But it's because I just started legging it and he just popped up. I was like, "There you are! Wait for me! Wait for me!" But yeah, no, I'm really enjoying it. It's like I said, it's scary, but it's good and it's tense in just the right amount of way. It's not like Amnesia was where like you're in the dark, like, I need to get in the light, I need to get in here, you just like, I need to hide, all right now go, I need to hide, all right now go. And they say
to play this.
They say right at the beginning of the game that in theory you can solve puzzles any way you want, which is true to an extent, but it's more, are you going to find the key or are you going to bash the door down? Like I said, that's pretty much the extent of like, do it your own way, break it open or but yeah, no, it's good. I am enjoying it. I wanted to try and finish it this weekend, but like I said, because I keep dying, I keep having to redo stuff over and over again. Yeah, highly recommend it. It's on Game Pass, so maybe we should pick that for Project Game Pass next month, and then we can all play.
That'd be hilarious. That would be absolutely fantastic.
No way in hell.
Oh dear, but yeah, it was it's a good game. I highly recommend it. Like I said, my review will be up soon, hopefully this week when I've played a bit more of it. But yeah, it is terrifying, but very good at the same time. Right, cool. Who else has got a game they want to play about? So, Ross, Graham, have you played anything else, or was it just cassette beats you've been up to this week?
Just the cassette beats for me. I can't even think if I've even played anything.
Cassette beats.
Oh, not that it'll be anything that anybody wants to talk about, but I've been playing Pokemon.
Jesus Christ.
But I can't remember which one it is now.
Which one are you playing? Yeah.
Violet? No. Scarlet? No.
Ian, help me. It's the one
white,
with
yellow, orange,
yes.
pink.
No, it's the one with Dialga on the front of it.
Brilliant Diamond.
Brilliant Diamond, that's the one. Or Shining Pearl, whatever one's got Dialga on the front of it, that's the one I've been playing.
Shining Pearl and the Brilliant Diamond. So
yeah, that's the one I've been playing.
I hate that one.
I never played the Sinnoh region when I was growing up. It's the only region I never played.
Yeah.
So
I don't like the chibi aspect of this because
it's nah.
Too kiddie.
I've heard that if I was going to play any of them, I should have just played Platinum. Just go back and play that.
Oh, Platinum is top tier.
Yeah, so because apparently that's like the best version of that generation.
100%.
So I'm tempted to just fire through this as quick as I can. My only saving grace for just trying to get to the end of it is because obviously it's linked with Pokemon Home. I can just drag Pokemon into it, so I've always got like a top tier squad to get through the game quickly.
Just remember, you can't be over leveled because the Pokemon don't listen to you.
Yeah, so I'm sort of working off every sort of 20 levels. I'm good. But yeah, what I get to play just because I've not experienced it. I know it's not meant to be one of the better ones, but I feel like I'd be shaming myself if I'd left a region unexplored.
That's fine. I'll let you off.
Fair enough. And Graham, have you been playing anything else? Did you say? Didn't know what you said.
No, it's anything other than cassette piece. I've been dipping into the occasional game of FIFA, but nothing too interesting there.
Was that yesterday?
In the skill shop.
Was that yesterday or today? When you play FIFA? Was it yesterday?
Plays every day.
Well, you feel free to delve into FIFA with Ross for a minute.
I was going to say, have you had any shapeshifters yet?
Only the one that you get for objectives, the Mitrovic centre back. But no, not had any lucky.
Oh, that could be quite good.
Yeah, he is quite beastly. He's like 93 overall, and he's got some sort of super fast, beefy stats.
Yeah, that could be pretty good. Some of the shapeshifter cards are fucking insane.
So can we explain, because I don't know what you're on about, what's shapeshifter cards?
So basically, they take a player and stick it in a completely random position. So Mitrovic
Ronaldo in goal, or Lionel Messi as a left back, or something random like that.
So Mitrovic, instead of being a striker, they put him a centre back. There's a Van Dijk one who's a CDM, who's apparently meant to be the best card in the game.
Okay.
So yeah, it's quite cool just to like have them playing in random positions. I am quite chuffed myself because I got Jota.
Oh, Diego Jota.
okay.
No, not Diego Jota, the Celtic Jota, but he's the highest rated rest of the world team of the season player.
Who the
So
fuck is
95 rated. I was like, ha!
Plays for
Never
Celtic,
has
I feel like.
never has a Celtic player ever been that highly rated in game, apart from Larson, and I'm claiming it, so shut the fuck up. And I know he wasn't 95, but even still. But apparently, like, trying to get him on Chem is hard as fuck.
But yeah, no, not had any luck with those kind of ones. But yeah, no, I think the highest one's the Pele one. I think he's a left
99.
wing or something, 99 overall.
Highest rated card in the game.
But yeah, this because you come into the end game, like everyone's got like super boosted stats.
Yeah. Everybody's got god tier squads as well. You look at it and you go, yeah, that's pretty epic, that squad. The player could be shit, but just for the fact of they're just throwing cards at you now. So even like opening basic shitty packs, like you're getting like 87, 80 players out of a fucking premium gold pack that you can preview.
Yeah. So I got 2 domestic man of the matches in one pack, and then the next one I got the Jared Bowen, you champions, whatever cup man at the match cards as well.
Yeah, I've got the Paqueta one that's like quite good. Road to the finals one that kept on getting boosted as he went through it.
Yeah. But yeah, no,
Sports.
that's what I mean.
Football.
That's what I mean. I don't want to go into it. I just said that's what else I was playing. You brought it up.
No, it's just...
But yeah,
better than
I have to
fucking
sort of
Jamie's
test my
scary
sharpness
talk.
every now and then. He ducked out. That's why.
I was looking for something, but I can't find where I put it. But it's fine. Carry on.
I am excited for the AFC because they are finally bringing Celtic Park into the game. It's one of the biggest stadiums in the whole of the UK, but it doesn't get included in FIFA.
What football turkeys out here? I'm just looking forward to it in general, just to see a new, different kind of spin. I'm more interested to see if FIFA actually pull out an actual competitor game, just to see.
I don't know if they're going to. We're not going to do it this year.
I just want to see it because it can't be worse than eFootball. It just can't be. And if it is, it can only be funny.
Unless 2K are keeping it super quiet.
I mean, 2K FIFA or something, or
FIFA there because FIFA will need to partner with somebody if they want to keep the money coming in. So 2K is
we're going to create a better game than FIFA. That was their bold statement.
Yeah,
we will do a better one. I was like, good luck with that.
Yeah, like I say, 2K could probably do it. 2K would be the one I would put most money behind to say if they're going to bring out a rival, that'll be the one that does it.
But that's what you kind of need, something to push innovation, just so EA don't get sloppy.
Rest on our laurels.
Yeah, that's all. That's the only reason I want to see it. I don't think it's going to be sort of much competition, same as eFootball. It's just a cack fest.
eFootball.
I want to see.
This is going to sound controversial. I liked some of the aspects of eFootball. Like when we played it down at EGX, that was the only time I'd ever really played it. And it wasn't fantastic. Like the shooting mechanics looked shit, but I liked the speed. I don't mind it being a wee bit more slower, like a real game of football. Like FIFA, you literally pick it up as your centre back or your left wing back, and you're fucking in the penalty box, and that's it. That's not real life. Whereas with like the eFootball game, it was a lot slower. It was a lot more passing through the team. I mean, there probably is skill moves, and there probably is ways to like trick your way right through the whole squad. But at least with football, it felt like you had to work the ball to try and create openings.
Yeah,
but the mechanics, like the actual actions in them striking the ball, look shit. The game, like the actual game, looks so flat. Like it was so one tone in regards to like the pitch, the strips. Just it didn't look great. The player faces were not too bad, but apart from that, it was lacking in very, very basic aspects. But it had the odd redeemable feature.
So, but like I said, competition drives innovation. So I just want to see them come out with something just to sort of challenge them to it.
Think of all those years that PES reigned supreme.
Yeah, exactly.
FIFA was an afterthought. And FIFA then dropped Ultimate Team. And if it hadn't been for Ultimate Team, PES would still be running rampant.
it wasn't for that Champions League 0203 game. That's the one that started it. That was the Ultimate Team before it came out as Ultimate Team.
Yeah. So if they never had the Ultimate Team, then we would be
I think that was EA.
Talking about
I can't
PES,
remember.
and that would be about
Graham
I'm
would
just
retire.
thinking, all I'm thinking is PES, those fucking sweets.
it. Fucking love PES, man. I'm watching Silo, program on Apple TV, and one of like the artifacts that they've got from a bygone era. It's just like a wee PES machine sitting on somebody's shelf. I'm like, I miss PES.
No, it was
Is that
EA.
Is Bunker the one with that where they can't go outside, but it actually is really nice outside?
That's Silo. Yeah.
That is Silo, yeah.
So, well, we don't know if it's really nice outside. It's rumoured that the outside world there's nothing wrong with it, but it's not had a confirmation of it yet.
Well, there we go.
It's a very good program.
I see. But that's
Interesting.
what I was playing.
Interesting.
Is there any other games that anyone else has been playing that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, well, actually, I've been playing this game called FIFA. I don't know if you've ever.
Yeah, this game called FIFA.
I mean, I'm trying to think what we have to do. So we need to get Ian playing horror games, Jay playing football games, Gray playing out and out stealth games, like proper,
Yeah,
no
right.
other aspect other than stealth. I'm trying to think what games I would have to play. Roguelike. Yeah, some sort of roguelike, like where you die and that's it. That would
You can play
that'd be
Hades.
like
You can stick with
Hades over there.
fucking Hades. No, that rewards you for dying.
Speaking of roguelite, I've been playing
Hades
a little
Hey!
What a segue!
I've been playing a little title called Dead Cells.
Dad's out.
I've heard nothing but great things about this game.
Yeah, I think I was quite surprised when I came into it. It's like a 2D roguelike actually kind of title. It's got a small comedy aspect into it as well, but it's actually quite thoroughly enjoyable. Again, because it's a bit like, I guess you feel like Hades, but obviously it's 2D side scroll, and you've got different weapons you can have, and also RNG as well. So again, one run you can have an awesome weapon, the next one you can be having shit weapons. And like, fuck this, just try to sack it off and start again, or do you actually try and get further? But then sometimes I've had it where I've had a shit sword, and then I had a really bad bow and arrow, and I managed to get through quite far. And then eventually, obviously, you die because that's what it's all about. You die and you keep going again and again. But I managed to complete one run through, which is quite cool. They've got a bit of accessibility options now to make it a little bit more simpler, so you don't have to bang head against the wall constantly. But yeah, surprisingly little fun title. Has anyone else played it here or not?
Not yet, but it looks interesting.
One of the
I might
ones
give it a stab.
that's on the list that I'd like to get to
Again,
at some point, but never.
Not my cup of tea, but all I've heard about it is nothing but praise. I'm sure Dan played it and he was very, very high on it because I'm pretty sure it was on the Switch as well. I'm sure he said it was like the perfect Switch game.
Yeah, I was looking actually. I think was it Mark back in the day? He gave it like a 10 out of 10. I think the DLC that Jake did, he really thoroughly enjoyed as well. And when I told Jake I was playing it, I was really happy as well. Cause...
Yeah, I've heard really good things about it. It's like I say, not my type of game, but I was saying to again my mate who's the PlayStation fan, like he was trying to see what's the value in Game Pass, and he was like, "Oh, what games like aren't the AAA games but are really worth the money that would make Game Pass playable?" And one of the ones that I said was like Dead Cells, right up your street. It's on Game Pass, you would love it. Same way, I can't remember, it was another game in the ilk of the Dead Cells sort of genre. But I've only ever seen praise for Dead Cells. I've never seen any like drawbacks.
Yeah, like you said, Ian, I think there's a lot of 10 out of 10s left, right, and centre, like all over, like big websites, small websites, YouTubers, whatever, just loving it. And they recently had Castlevania DLC as well, which again got a lot of love. Carry on to.
Yeah, it's one of those things like I've said before, like which we'll talk about a bit later on in the show about gameplay over graphics. It's pretty, and like I say, it's got quite that cartoon aspect, but it's not the fanciest looking game. But the color palette they use in the game is fantastic, and yeah, for me, it's one of the best roguelikes I've played since Hades.
Sitting at 91 on Metascore.
Yeah, I've been looking for like a game like Hades and stuff to kind of get back into. Because you know me, I loved Hades; it was brilliant. I think Dead Cells, like I'm surprised to me this long to kind of give it a go. But I'm very happy I've started because I think I've been putting into it. And I think it's the point where I'm looking at buying the DLCs for it all because annoying when you kind of so you go through like the first level and you got to kind of go through different paths. You have to go to like you kind of there's like when you go to a new area, it's like 4 different doors. Obviously, 2 will be for like the single player campaign, and there's obviously a couple of doors for like the DLC. And it's annoying because you do like a massive path, kill all the enemies, do it quite slowly, but then fast, to kind of get through it all, and then get to the top of the kind of the castle where you are for the next path, and like DLC required. Like, oh fuck's sake, I want to go to this door, so I have to go back down to try and find another door. So again, I think for me, I want to pick up the DLC just so I can seamlessly go for any door I want to, especially when you get towards the end where when you're doing like kind of the harder cells, because obviously each time you defeat a boss, each time you do one run through, you get a cell, and then you have to go through, play through again. It makes it a bit more harder, so modifiers. And again, when you're getting through an area, you don't want to go back the same way. Lucky enough, there's teleports that can take you around, make it quicker. But it's annoying because you go through that bit slowly, and you get to the end, like, nope, you can't go for that door. Like, oh shit, I just wasted like half my health trying to get here. So you have to go all the way back and slowly make your way through, and hopefully you don't lose too much health to get to the main door you want to go through. So it's quite cool.
So are you playing this part of your competition, or are you playing it just because you wanted to?
Both, really. I've played it for school. I was recommended it, and obviously now I'm just fully playing it, and now I'm just focusing on that. Because for me, it's a good fun game, and it's given a good score. But yeah, it's actually just a nice, fun little title, and I'm surprised the amount of enjoyment I'm getting out of it. Because, like I say, there's different types of enemies, there's different types of weapons. Again, there's obviously you have like what do you call it? I can't remember what they call it in the game, but it's like items you can use, kind of like some people can throw like a grenade, just like a frost grenade, or you can like throw traps down, and that kind of makes it a lot more easier. The traps are so good for bosses because obviously you don't want to get hit as much with the bosses, so you throw a couple of traps down and keep dodging the attacks, and eventually the boss will go down because they go down to the traps rather than you trying to fire it or kill it. My favorite at the moment now is just kind of freezing them and then attacking. That seems to be my kind of go-to at the moment. But Jay, you can set them on fire as well.
I was about to say, you mentioned ice. As long as there's fire, is there fire? Let's see fire.
Yeah.
So do you get any sort of excuse me, roguelites? Obviously, like you said, you die, you start again. Do you get anything where you can take with you from each run, so you get to keep a weapon or a skill upgrade or something?
So yeah, you what happens is every time you kill an enemy or something, you get cells, and then cells you use that at a vendor as you're slowly to complete a level, and use that at a vendor to kind of maybe give you a better weapon, starting weapon, or like for example, you can keep some coins because the coins help you upgrade the weapons throughout the playthrough and stuff. So yeah, there's ways you can kind of make yourself a bit more easier to become with, and there's obviously you can get flasks per kind of like if you do a level, you get like a flask upgrade. Again, when the later on, the flask upgrades are a little bit less and less how much they give you, but you can like rather than at the beginning you can only drink it once and it does your health up to max, and then if you upgrade that, it gives you like 3 times you can drink it, which helps a lot.
Yeah, nice, good. So it's a nice challenging roguelike adventure we get Ross playing when you're playing some horror games.
Let's do it.
I'm not agreeing to this. I'm against it.
I guarantee you that
I tell you, I'm not agreeing to it either. I ain't fucking why am I playing this?
I guarantee you I'll finish Dead Cells before he finishes Amnesia. I guarantee you.
I'll just sit on a home screen. Having my whole screen with just me on the home screen of Amnesia.
I'd rather be scared than bored.
Yeah. Ooh. He managed He managed to sell Elden Ring for me. I'm sure I can do the same to Dead Cells.
Yeah, nice.
But that's not a game.
That's good.
Game, or is it? Or is it?
Dead Cells.
Dead Cells is. Yeah.
Dead Cells is game.
DLC's not, but yeah.
Yeah, the actual game is though.
But I think to get DLC quite cheap now because it gives you.
Yeah, it can be expensive.
I think it's.
I don't even think the game to buy itself was overly expensive when it launched.
No, I can't remember how much it is. I think it's like 15, I want to say. But I think the DLC is like £3 a pop.
Yeah. And like I said, the Castlevania one got quite a lot of love when it came out a couple of months ago, I think it was at this point. Because it sort of just retells Castlevania, but within Dead Cells, which, if you're into that sort of thing,
sounds like a win.
That sort of thing. Yeah.
Best in the game.
Nice.
Booyah.
Damn right.
It's back again.
Cool. Well, that was Dead Cells. I've got one more thing I want to talk about quickly before we move on to the rest of the news and bits and pieces. Ross, do you remember we spoke about a certain little item a few weeks ago? That you sort of mentioned on the show.
Flashlight.
Well,
I know. I know. I've seen it on your review. I was like, he got it.
It finally arrived a few weeks ago, and here it is: the PowerA Moga XP Ultra controller. Nice little box here. And yeah, it's fucking good. I mean, my review's up now. I gave it a. What was it,
Fuck,
9
I told you it would be good.
It's fully wireless, so Xbox, mobile and PC,
Cloud.
cloud, blah 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 blah. But the main selling point of this is not only is it a controller for your Xbox like this, but you can do a little bit of a finger action on the bottom, and just take the bottoms off.
Oh, baby.
And make it smaller. That's the wrong way around. But yeah, then you get tiny.
Won't be smaller in my pants, Jay.
It's not small.
Yeah, get a little controller like that. Sort of reminds me of a bit of a sort of modified NES controller.
I was going to say
It's
it's
got all
like
the triggers
NES.
and bits and pieces. The only thing you lose when you take the grips off are the grips and themselves and the back
Triggers.
buttons. I can't fucking. He had little buttons at the back here. But yeah, it's good controller. I was mightily impressed with it, and it's got one little extra doodad. Let me get my tools out. That's what I was looking for a minute ago. So it comes with this little.
That was what I was
adapter
quite
as well.
intrigued about. So straight in for the.
So we got some from XO19 where it clips onto like your random Xbox controller.
Yes.
Standard Xbox controller. But this one itself, I don't know if I'll be able to show it very clearly or not, but it sort of clips in that little gap at the top there.
Yep. And
So
then
it
your
just-
phone can go straight in.
Clips in like that when you do it properly, obviously. Like that. And then, yeah, I won't do it now because it's faffing around while people are sitting there watching me faff around with something. But like that. Ta-da! Oh, phone's falling out. There we go.
Oh my
You got the
God.
idea.
That was the
you got the
worst
idea.
tech
I know, I didn't-
demonstration of
I feel bad now. I
anything
feel like I've
possible.
undersold it somewhat.
You
Let
have,
me
you
do it off
fucked him.
camera.
Yeah, you have.
Let me do it off camera. I didn't want to fuck around with it too
ruined
much.
Powery's whole
Hang on,
marketing strategy.
The
The whole company's just like bust because of you.
Let me give it a little fiddle off camera.
Jay.
There
Grandpa
we
Jay
go.
strikes
Look
again.
at that. Let's try again. Here's one I made earlier.
And you know
See?
what's even
Fancy.
better about that? You've no reason not to play cassette beast now.
I mean, this will be how I
Literally
play
set it
Starfield.
up.
When I play cassette beast, not if. This will be how I play it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, really good controller. The battery's supposed to last about 60 hours supposedly. I had a slight hiccup when I took it away with us to play on the stag do, and I must have left it on because the battery completely drained, and I couldn't get it to power back on until I got back home. But since other than that, I haven't had to touch the charge at all. It's lasted perfectly.
I
good.
don't think they will have, but they might even be able to get even more brownie points from it. How does it charge? What port?
USB-C.
USB-C.
Oh, fantastic!
So it comes with a decent size, decent length USB-C cable, which plugs into the Xbox. I find the only way I found to actually charge it was to plug it into the Xbox. I got a little USB charger down there, which didn't seem to like it very much. But then it doesn't like you charging my Switch either. But yeah, plugged into the Xbox, charges up nice and quick. Got a little battery monitor on the front here. Get some lights.
Fantastic. Because the only reason I ask is the Tiny Tina one, obviously that's got like the old style is it USB?
Like the micro USB.
Micro USB, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was hoping they had, because obviously USB-C costs more money to build into your product. So I was really hoping they had went for USB-C. So that's reassuring to hear that they've made that jump.
Yeah, decent. Like I said, got a nice lengthy cable on it, like a good lengthy cable. And yeah, really good controller. Very impressed with it after all this.
Smashing it, aren't they? Like, when was the last
Yes.
time they put out a bad peripheral for the Xbox?
If it was any time recent, it was probably before the Xbox One. I would say the last time we played it, like when the third party stuff was generally pretty dreadful. But the last few things I've checked out, and I think you've checked out that Tiny Tina one, didn't you?
I love the Tiny
And a
Tina
few of
one.
the
as
other
well.
guys have checked some of the other stuff out as well. Yeah, really, really good all round.
They've really
but-
smashed it when
Solid.
it came to peripherals. Like Xbox should genuinely look at like outsourcing some stuff to them. Just like it's not going to have the official Xbox stuff on it, but we'll work with you. We'll give you some ideas, and this is what we want you to produce, and then bang, fire it out.
Yeah, so yeah, highly recommend that bad boy. Go check out my review, xboxtavern.com now. Yeah, really, really worth. I think it's £125, which is not the cheapest controller in the world, but for what you get, it's well worth the money, I would say. So especially compared to some of the other expensive options you can choose. Excuse me.
I think what you said about it, like I've not read the review yet. I'm just going off the little blurb that you put in the Twitter.
What do you mean you haven't read it?
I'm like, what the fuck?
Been a busy man. This show doesn't come together magically, guys. Right?
It doesn't just press a button on me.
Yeah, exactly. What are you on about? Of
What are
course
you talking about? It just show up and all of a sudden it works. You had put up it obviously saying about like you found yourself searching for the grips, but when you gave it to the little ones, it was like perfect for them. And you know how you get like the Xbox controllers, but they've been like shrunk down in size.
Yes.
Obviously, they're not official Xbox controllers, but they're the same idea. I feel like this would be the better option. Give them like a NES controller, like what basically you say it is, the same as what we all grew up on. Perfect size, gives you the same controls, like the triggers and everything, so you're not having to jump to a different style. But it's just once they start growing up a wee bit and they've got bigger hands to get more used to the controller, then you slide it back in, and then the way they go on the full size controller.
Yeah, no, it's perfect for the little ones. And to be honest, even I was using it for a little bit. I did prefer with the grips, like I said in the review, and especially with the like mobile phone adapter on it, because it's way too top heavy otherwise.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you just want something just small, just to pop in your bag, and you don't need the extra handles and grips and stuff, I mean, it's fucking perfect, really. And being wireless as well, especially easier to carry on the go rather than having to cable it into your phone or what have you.
Yeah, that was one of the big things for me. Like when I seen that they were, I think that's why I made like the side note of mentioning it. The fact that they were bringing out a wireless controller got me quite excited for the fact of I loved the Tiny Tina one. And the only drawback that we had on it was the fact that it had a wire. So if they now start jumping into the wireless market, then they're onto a winner.
Not just that, they got the custom but mappable buttons as well on the back.
Yeah.
And they can map multiple commands, which even the Elite ones can't.
The Elite doesn't yet. I remember you saying that because I think we were talking about it for FIFA, like with a power shot type idea.
Power shot, so it's left bumper, right bumper, shoot. I was using it for the first thing I was using it for was UFC because they got like different combos. So you hold down like trigger and two buttons at the same time. You can just map it to one button, so you can do like a special move by just clicking one button. Yeah, but FIFA's the same thing. Two bumpers and the shoot button. You do a power shot. You just one button like that, and the lob through pass is both bumpers and Y. So you got a lob through pass and a power shot, but just pressing one button. It's just to map multiple buttons under one special button. Even that's such a winning point, which can't like the Elite series can't even do. Yeah,
it's highly recommended. It's as simple as that. As wonderful a demonstration I did of showing it off right now.
You completely feel that. I mean, if
make a dog's dinner a clip in it.
I was going to say, if I make a clip of you try to put that together and put it on Twitter, and they see it, they'll be like, every time you send a request through it. Mate,
do you remember that you couldn't even put your phone in it? You useless cunt.
We just don't think it's going to work out.
I was trying to rush it. I didn't want to sit there and be like, "Oh, this is how you do it." And then I was like,
"Why did you not have it ready?"
Oh, I just made a fucking fool. But I did it. We got there in the end. It's fine. It's sorted.
Every time someone goes, it's really simple to put together.
Well done, Grandpa.
Oh, such an old man. Anyway, right. That was the last thing I wanted to mention. I've been playing a bit of Fortnite, but I mean, it's Fortnite and it's good. New season's good as well. Very much enjoying that. Right, gentlemen. And unless anyone else got anything desperate they'd like to bring up to talk about, perhaps we could get a good old plug-in from good old Scottish Gruff, please.
Oh, if you must. On a warm Father's Day, we shall squeeze in a nice plug-in. Yeah. So, patreon.com/Xbox Tavern. We have our After Dark shows up there live now. I think there is currently 6 episodes, if I'm right in saying, because the other one should have been scheduled for Tuesday. So we'll have another one going out on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Not ish. No, we are accurate. We are on the hour. I was going to put it as 7:05, and then I thought, no, we'll keep it professional. People are paying their hard-earned money here. They want it on the hour. So yeah, there's a new episode there of After Dark. Goes live every week at 7 p.m. on a Tuesday. So basically, no, rein yourselves in.
Every time someone says PM now, I'll just automatically like
triggered. It goes live at 1900 hours. Basically, just you can't do it on 1900 hours. It doesn't work. No, it's just our random thoughts. It doesn't need to be for the world of Xbox. We talk about wrestling. We talk about sports. We talk about TV shows. We just talk about anything that the four of us want to sort of shoot shit about. It's quite good just to be a bit more relaxed, have our own thoughts about different stuff. So you can jump over to patreon.com/Xbox Tavern. It's £2 a month to support us. It's less than a cup of coffee. It helps the podcast stay alive. It helps the website stay alive. We're able, if we get a nice little fall in there, we can do things like giveaways or merchandise. We can get game codes. We might even be able to start throwing in things like the controllers. We might be able to even purchase some to put them out to you. So you hear about the great controllers and you get one sent out by supporting us through patreon.com. Be greatly appreciated. Much appreciated, folks. And if you want to support us another way, if you jump over to Apple and Spotify podcasts, leave us a 5-star review, drop a wee note there, say what you like, what you don't like. That gets us more exposure, gets us into more people's ears, and builds a bigger community for everybody. Written reviews can be found at xboxtavern.com. Jay will have a wee list of everything that's going up on the site. Obviously, he's saying about his controller review is live now, as well as another couple of ones that will be up as well. I definitely know that we have a Formula 1 review coming up soon, or is it out yet?
It's just gone up, yes.
Just went up. I remember seeing something about Formula 1, so if you're an F1 fan, jump over and have a wee look at that. Socials run along the bottom of the screen. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Patreon, TikTok, Twitter, in some way, shape, or form of at Xbox Tavern or at Xbox Tavern Official. You'll be able to get us on any of them. Discord, I finally bet Jay! It was a crowning moment this morning when I seen he didn't get the game, and I was like,
oh, yeah.
Let's find out.
I was fucking elated. That was like, without sounding bad to my son and daughter, that being my Father's Day. I was like, yes, 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 the win.
I was absolutely livid when I did that, and I was like, geez, I guess so many fucking different titles with that game. I was like,
yes, there was.
Would have to be the one, well, not the one I didn't pick, but one of the more obvious ones I didn't pick.
Oh, I was so happy. So happy.
Absolutely livid.
And last but by no means least, our amazing people over at Insert Coin. Xbox Tavern 23 can be used for £5 off orders over £50. All of us on the show are big fans of the Insert Coin merch. We've all got t-shirts, hoodies. Some of us have got a slight obsession with beanies, accessories, the works. The stuff's really cool. It's not just for the fact that it's gaming, it's actually really nice to wear. It doesn't feel cheap, it doesn't feel horrible on you, it fits really nice. It's just really good merchandise, and they've got a wide variety of different games, so jump over to them and pick up some gaming merch.
That would be wonderful. Thank you very much, Ross. I feel much more satiated after a good old plug-in.
You're more than welcome.
From our friend up in the Highlands. Right, gentlemen.
Fucking Highlands, fuck you. Hey, at least up in this sunny part
I see it.
Up in this sunny part of the world, we don't get rain and thunderstorms. We get beautiful sun. Unlike down
please
south,
bring on the rain. I'm happy. Bring on as much rain as you like after this last week and a half. It's been way too hot.
Fuck off. How many is there?
The humidity has been bad. Ian's about to launch his phone.
Ian,
see that nice big display cabinet behind
you?
Ian?
My pain.
The phone's about to go through it.
Oh, okay, one more go. Oh.
You feel my pain. I went through so many different versions. Like, nope.
Does he get it? Does he get it? The anticipation. Oh, you've got no pressure on you. You've got
me as well.
He got it! He came in clutch. Good man.
Just the game. Absolutely destroyed.
Good man.
Yes. I'm gonna have to school you all tomorrow on whatever tomorrow's game is.
I love it. I fucking love it.
Hey, excuse me, Mr. Sam, the man who behind the game. Give me a quick hint right now.
Exactly. He's just going to drop into your DMs.
Put that on Discord now.
Exactly.
No, it's fun. I love playing it every day. It's the highlight of my 2 a.m. toilet break. That is.
Yeah, I mean,
all right,
I used to get like the 8 minutes past midnight, but you've moved away from that a wee bit. I don't get my midnight notifications.
I tend to when I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm like, we're going to quick right now. Let's see if we can do it at this point in the day. Be good. Right, let's move on from that shenanigans, shall we? And me getting destroyed for the first time on.
Things you love to see.
Just you wait till tomorrow, you cunts. Right. We're going to talk about some Xbox video gaming news. Wonderful goodness this week. And we're still sort of reeling after the Starfield Direct.
I'm still trying to go through the underwear.
No, I know. I mean, as we discussed last week,
Starfield
was looked really, really good. Very
So what
very
game?
won over I was.
Starfield.
I really, really, really enjoyed the director. In fact, as I said before we started, I actually watched it again before the Xbox showcase extended because IGN had it on as like part of their pre-show, and I just got excited all over again. That music, that the details, the expanses of planets, and just everything they showed just absolutely won me over. But obviously, as part of the interview with Ian's favorite Ryan McCaffrey on IGN.com, they had an interview with Todd Howard, and Brian got out of him saying, "Tell us, is it going to be 30 frames, 60 frames? What are we looking at?" And he was very open and honest. That was
Starfield.
Deal with it.
We got. He said basically, "Shut the fuck up and listen to me. I know what I'm doing." So it's going to be 30 frames on both consoles. It's going to be 4K on Series X and 1440p on S Series S. I mean, for me, literally makes no difference. As I said, as much as I didn't like Redfall, 30 frames was the least of the issues I have with that game. You know, overall.
You know what?
But Digital Foundry, go on, Russell.
I'll let you start because I'm going to pull something up so you can actually appreciate what I was like going to show. So I'll let you.
I hope it's not your underwear.
Oh God, that's too like crusty to get off.
Still stuck to him, yeah.
Starfield.
Digital Foundry did a really good sort of technical breakdown, as they like to do, of
Starfield.
When they properly went through the trailer, looked at why it would be 30 frames per second, why it was probably never ever going to be 60 frames per second, especially on Xbox. I mean, PC will be, as long as you've got a beefy GP, as one of my hope podcasts like to call them. They got a quote here from this Pure Xbox article. It says, John from Digital... Oh, fucking, it's gone now, you bastard. John from Digital Foundry. Why did they... I hate it. Sometimes I'm just so old. I can't even fucking operate a computer simply.
We noticed.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
I know.
The most thing I annoyed with this was the amount of videos, like 38 details you may have missed in the trailer.
Yeah, I did watch
All
one.
these
I think it was outside Xbox one, and it was like, you may have missed. There was 1,000 planets. I was like, I don't think anybody missed that there was 1,000 planets. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah.
You carry on.
Did you miss? You can customize your ship. No, everyone saw you can customize your ship.
So I've got a quote here. It says, John from Digital Foundry puts forward the argument that a frame rate target is a design decision. The question is what frame rate allows you to hit your design goals for the game. In the case of Starfield, it's clear that it's an open world or even open universe game with item permanence, AI simulations, and a lot of interlocking systems to create an immersive experience. Excuse me. With all the CPU demands that this sort of game entails, dropping the resolution might not have had much an effect on overall frame rate. Excuse me. As a developer, you may as well crank up the visuals and embrace that 30 FPS for an overall more consistent output. So the gist of what their 45-minute video they did was, it's so expansive, and obviously Bethesda games are so finely detailed and stuff in terms of stuff you can pick up, in terms of keeping all of the items placed where you left them. So like in the direct, they showed the lady putting the sandwiches on the table. You know, and then she could come back 100 hours from now and they'll all be still on the table, in theory, unless they suddenly go and just explode around the room as it did want to do in Skyrim a few times.
See, just back to the 30 frames per second in regards to like why Todd Howard had basically said this is the reason why we're doing 30 frames, right? To give you an example, it's not going to be as flawless as I'd like. That was Oblivion. Todd Howard was in charge, 94 rated. If you go and look at things like Fallout 4, 88 rated on Metacritic. Skyrim, 96 rated on Metacritic. See, when he is in charge of designing a game, he knows what he's fucking talking about. So if he said the best way to play Starfield is 30 frames per second to give you the best visual experience and best overall game, the guy's got a track record of putting out games that are fucking incredible. Let's just, not be a little bitch about it and listen to the guy who's actually making mega money off these games.
Yeah,
and as he said in his interview with Ryan, that they prefer to crank up the fidelity, crank up the visuals, crank up the physics and the the explorable space rather than being like, well, we want it running faster, but we're gonna have to pare back all of these things we're known for. Like the creation engine is just designed to have worlds that feel lived in, feel
It looks
consistent,
better.
and feel like just something like you go in and you know when you go into Whiterun, for example, that your armor set you put on the wall was there. That character's going to be there. The dead bodies you killed 25 hours ago are still going to be laying there. Where now we've got 1,000 planets, all these massive cities, all these
table of
different
sandwiches,
stuff we can only be like our own custom robot spaceships and outposts and what have you. And
Looks like a penis.
Even lowering it down to 1080p, which is like the bare minimum for what we should be expecting, I guess, these days. Although it's not really the end of the world. That wouldn't have saved any impact because it's all CPU limited, and it would look worse and still play the same. So you might as well have it look as good as it can and having it play the same at 30 frames per second. So, gentlemen, I know there's a lot of technical detail here. Ross, you said you watched it or you caught up with as much of it as you could as well. Did you have any thoughts on what Digital Foundry said? And are you disappointed in the 30 frames, or could you not give a shit like me?
I was never bothered about 30 frames in the first place. Like as you all know in the podcast, one of my favorite games of all time was The Witcher 3. And when The Witcher 3 came out, it was 30 frames. And yeah, it was great when they added 60 and they managed to keep it. And I get folks say, oh, but The Witcher 3 is a game that's X amount of years old, and in this day and age, we should be able to have both. Fuck off, right? I want to have a world that is incredibly immersive, is absolutely stunning to look at, and the experience of being in that world is what makes the best thing of it. Not, oh, look, the game's buttery smooth, because it can be buttery smooth and have a shit story. Nobody's going to want to play it.
Redfall.
Well, that was 30, so.
I mean, that was, well, I mean, there were both issues in that game.
Yeah.
But,
If somebody was to say to me, do you want a lifeless husk of a game that runs at 120 frames per second, or we can only put it at 30, but you're in immersive planets that have their own fucking ecosystem, that have their own day-night cycle where you can actually sit on a cliff and watch the game progress from day to night and have all these beautiful illuminations in the way that they've done so much work in lighting to make it look realistic as possible, but you can only play it at 30 frames per second. Like, fucking give me something that's going to entertain me, not, oh, it runs smooth, but it's got fuck all entertainment value.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think a lot of people, oh, why can't it be? It doesn't.
Yeah, why
matter.
can't it be both?
Fun,
why can it not be both?
Fun, then what? It makes no difference really. Again, Digital Foundry went into much more detail than we could possibly even attempt to go into because we're not that sort of technically minded. But they were talking about like the lighting from the sun and the moon and coming through the clouds and the way that the horizon stretches way further out than anything in like Oblivion, the Skyrim, and Fallout and stuff. And even they weren't so taken with the characters, but even then they were like the Bokeh. Is it Bokeh? I don't know how to say pronounce it.
Bokeh. So basically, yeah, it's your background blur type idea.
Yeah, so that was really impressive. The way they did reflections, although they weren't real time like ray tracing and stuff, they were real time cube maps which updated every second. Didn't reflect characters, but reflected the world around them perfectly, and the lighting and the shadows and everything was just so impressive to them. And I mean, these guys obviously very hard to impress. And again, they've only watched the video; they haven't played the game, as far as I'm aware. But if they're already giving it the thumbs up, then I don't think fucking Noob Slayer 2084 on Twitter should be going, oh, but I want 60 frames a second and oh nothing.
But you know what the real crux of it is see if Bethesda had dropped a bombshell at the Xbox showcase and turned around and says, and after much deliberation, we've decided that we want everybody to experience our game. So we have made the decision that this is going to be available on all consoles. How many people would have came out and bitched about 30 frames per second?
No,
exactly zero.
Fucking,
well, the very few, but yeah.
The center of a fucking donut would have been how many folk would have came out and fucking bitched about it.
You know what it would have been instead, though? It would have been, yeah, but the Xbox is holding the PS5 back because it could do 60
exactly,
frames
yeah.
a second, but
yeah,
they won't.
Exactly. There'd have been some blame on Xbox. If Bethesda weren't partnering with Xbox, we would have had it running at 120 frames, 8K. Like our box says. Have you seen the PlayStation box? It says 8K on it. It's Xbox that's holding us back. Fuck off. But that's what it boils down to. And it's the same pissy-ass pattern. I've seen people go backwards and forwards. Oh, but Horizon Zero Dawn, that's open world, and that fucking runs at 60 frames per second. And God of War's open world. God of War's not open world. It's fucking linear. Yes, you can explore maps, but you can't. It's not open world.
Really, with Horizon, it looks lovely, but it's not. It's nowhere near as expansive as something like
Ross has
Starfield.
got so angry he's left. Like, fuck this.
Graham, come in. Tell me
Graham,
your thoughts
speak,
and opinions
say
on the
Starfield
debate.
Yeah.
Starfield.
The only thing that the point that I get is that a lot of those games with that kind of glamorous sort of looking things always offer the choice of sort of that performance mode. I'm surprised that they didn't even throw that in. Say it's going to look slightly more shit, but you can have your frame rate.
But that's
just to throw it in as an option.
But that's what they said. It wouldn't have mattered if they made the resolution worse. They couldn't, because of the way that they've designed it in regards to the sheer scale of it. Even running it at fucking 720 would never have allowed it to run at 60 frames because everything's memorized, as in like every action has a reaction in regards to the world.
Yeah.
There's
it would have
so
just
much going on.
bottlenecked the CPU and would have just bricked the game.
The thing is, I think this is just all talk. As soon as the game comes out, and that's the real point. And then when it starts reviews coming out, and people actually start playing it, no one's going to be thinking about 3 months ago when, remember it said it's 30 FPS? No one's going to think of that. Yeah. Wait until it comes out and then start moaning about it. If it looks shit when you play it on your console, then you have a right to moan. But until then, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and I think I
don't care what you want to say.
I've seen somebody else who had hands-on with it. I don't know if they'd played it or things like that, or if they must have played it because they were saying about it. They said this is the least, sounds terrible, but it's Bethesda. We're all expecting it. It's the least buggy game Bethesda have ever produced.
Yes, that was part of Matt Booty's interview with Axios, I think.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's digging his own fucking grave there, and honestly, it's the least buggy. Yeah, but that's not.
That's like saying instead of having 1,000 bugs, it's got 998 bugs. So it's still fucking it's an improvement. It's still fucking got bugs.
It's still going to fall apart as soon as you get 5 cheese wheels in a row, like rolling down a hill. But,
exactly. So it's like when you tried to. It's like when you went to Sanctuary and you had the nuka mines and you tried to fire them all at the one time and it fucking blew up the whole of Sanctuary and bricked your entire game. It's Bethesda. We'd expect. I've said that since the first day I seen.
Someone's going to break it.
Oh yes, somebody's going to be sitting there live streaming it, doing something that's going to blow up their fucking console. But I've said since day dot, I wholeheartedly expect to plug this game in, play it, and there'll be bugs. Somebody's face is going to be half melted off when I go to a cutscene.
That's a Ubisoft treat, though, isn't it?
See, as long as it's a game where it doesn't brick my console, it doesn't fuck my save, and it doesn't completely break the immersion of the game. Fallout 4 had bugs in it. Fallout New Vegas, one of the fucking best RPG games that's ever been made, had bugs in it. There was a bug that you could fast travel to the end of the game in 2 minutes if you walked into a certain wall at a certain angle. So the Bethesda games are always, I don't know, that was Obsidian, ZeniMax, but still, you get the idea. They're loaded with bugs. There's always going to be bugs in a game this scale because they can never test it enough to get all the bugs out of it because nobody plays the game the exact same way every single solitary player. But as long as it's an acceptable level, as I say, doesn't break your console, doesn't brick the game, doesn't ruin your save, we just enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
And
a masterpiece.
And if anything, they've shown off from that direct and the interviews and stuff afterwards. I mean, the scope and ambition is way beyond anything. I think even Witcher or excuse me, or like Fallout or stuff. It's just it's like almost like another level where it might not run next gen, but it will look next gen. It will play next gen, and the amount of stuff you can do is just going to be. I mean, this is kind of it's given me like Zelda vibes. I know obviously we spoke about Tears of the Kingdom recently. I've been playing it again this weekend, and I'm still absolutely awestruck by the amount of stuff you can do. But
Oh, you mean the
It's
other
all
game that
contained
run at
within-
30 FPS and everybody was
exactly
nothing but
runs at
praise
30
for?
frames. It's
No
not
one
the best
cares.
looking game in
And
the
that's
world.
the
It looks
point.
good, but it's just easily one of the best games I've ever played, and
Yeah.
And
it's
that's the
because
thing,
of
because
like
it's
the
Switch.
immersive world.
Exactly,
Because
Switch
it's
gets
Switch,
away
no
with
one
it.
cares.
Yeah, they get a
But-
pass.
It's just,
One of the other sidetracks, I can't remember if it was Digital Foundry or if it was somebody else who had put it out, basically saying it's like No Man's Sky is a gross understatement, and your better comparison is Star Citizen. The Star Citizen is a game that's been in beta? Like, have they actually released Star Citizen yet? And it's like 15,
Nope. It's
16,
it's
17
made-
years old.
it's made something like $100
made-
million
Yeah.
or
And
probably
it's
way
still-
beyond that at this point.
What is it?
And
Still
it's still in
Kickstarter or
preview.
beta or something? It's
the
basically
beta,
it's not a fully released game. And they said that's the type of scope that you're looking at. You're not looking at No Man's Sky. You're looking at Star Citizen, a game that has been procedurally built for however long it's been and hasn't even released its full version yet. This is what Starfield brings to you, and that alone should give you everything you need to know about this game.
Yeah, and I mean, Star Citizen is like the top tier of space. I mean, you got obviously what's the other one?
Elite
EVE Online,
Dangerous, yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
But that is purely space stuff. Whereas this Star Citizen, like you said, it's space stuff. It's planets, it's characters, it's interaction, but
Ships.
nowhere near on a level of
But
there's like one-on-one RPG stories, quests, stuff like that. I mean, like I said, I'm completely won over by that direct. And I mean, it could run 30 frames. I don't give a fuck as long as it's enjoyable.
no,
we can
graphics,
play
gameplay
for
over
it.
graphics, always. Gameplay over graphics. No
what
one
I would
cares.
say is one of the biggest questions in regards to Starfield, though, is did Ian buy the peripherals?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you spent
Chicken.
all that time last week on the show trying to get them in your basket,
Arsing around with
checking,
the reward.
I know. I
checking out all
did.
your rewards, and you shat the bed.
Instead, I bought a controller for my son for his birthday.
Well, fair
Was
one.
it the
Yeah,
Starfield one?
No, it was the green one,
the
Okay.
proper neon one or the recycled one.
the neon one.
Oh, all of that.
Fair enough.
Jay wasn't a big fan of the recycled one.
And I found
I
these.
was going to
bad
say
boys
with the
on
recycled one,
display.
no chance.
So I want to keep these ones.
Turtle Beach,
Razer.
Razor. Ah,
Very nice, very nice.
So
But yeah, I mean, like I said, let's get back to the Starfield stuff. Graham, obviously you're going to play it. I think we're all going to play it.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there anything that, I mean, you weren't here last week when we discussed the direct.
Yeah.
Did you watch the direct?
No, I haven't watched the direct, but I did watch something. Which...
You.
Oh no,
mother-
not the direct. I thought you meant the bit that Joe mentioned afterwards. No, I did watch the actual direct bit of it.
I was going to say, what the fuck?
I thought you were on
And
about
so,
the piece,
obviously-
the full blown thingy that he was talking about earlier. I didn't watch the piece.
No. So obviously that was after the actual showcase itself. Did anything
Yeah.
sort of catch your eye, like specifically one thing that you were like, that is, I mean, excuse me.
Just everything just rings sort of Oblivion or just Elder Scrolls in space. Just everything, the way it looks, the way the vastness of it, the amount of adventure you can just imagine having, and there was one thing that really sort of hit it is Manslayer started to make clips about it already.
Yes.
Well, yeah, with the Adoran fan popping up, you know.
Oh my adoring fan.
Oh, I know.
That was in his clip. That was in the Manslayer's clip.
You know, one of the things that like it bothered me about the last week's show, Jay, and I keep listening back to it, and it pisses me off that you don't appreciate it. And me and Ian were big on it. Things like the grav with the ballistics weapons. Just that little attention to detail. Like they didn't like. Mass Effect doesn't have anything like that. I know they don't have a lot of zero-G combat, but it's just that wee thing, like you fire a ballistics gun in zero grav and you start drifting all the way back when you fire it. That just shows the level,
It's
like
cool.
the attention to detail that they've put in it.
It's cool. Don't get me wrong. It's a nice touch, but it's one of them things you're like. It's not a selling point by any means, is it? It's like that's just a neat little touch. But again, like you said, it goes to show the amount of attention to detail and the small details, which is exactly why we're not going to get 60 frames, because there's so much packed in to this one game. I mean, I was thinking
There's
about
so much it
it
needs to do, and that's the point. Because there's so much in the game, they kind of it'd be like a 200, 300 gig download if it wanted 60 FPS.
What is it,
I do wonder how big the download will be, but I also wonder.
95.
No, 100,
what was it?
115, 125. I'm sure the PC one's already, well, the PC one, sorry, has already been released, and I'm sure they say that it's 115 or 125.
I can't be anything bad as Call of Duty. So
Yeah.
Can't be as bad as
But
fucking, what's the one I downloaded the other week? NBA fucking 2K. No, sorry, I'm lying. MLB The Show. What the fuck? That was huge.
that's what she said.
I'm right, she did.
Yeah, I mean,
She did.
I mean, yeah,
She loved it.
we could our old school throwback NBA 2K, like you said, Ross. I know it wasn't what you're on about, but that's an old school notorious like space stealer, because on the Dreamcast, for going right back, that required an entire VMU like memory unit just to itself because it took up so much space for like the saves and stuff. So I mean, they've just completely like take a whole hard drive. Fuck you, why not? But yeah, I've completely lost track where we were now. Starfield looks very good.
That
Graham,
threw me off as well.
to your great. Let's talk about NBA. No, great. Obviously, like I said, you just enjoyed everything. I think for me, like I said last week, it was the music that really caught my eye. Caught my ear, I should say. But are you going to be one that's going to get into like the shipbuilding, base building, or are you just going to be questioning left, right, and center?
Everything. You have to try everything. It'd be it's a crime.
Try everything once.
Exactly.
I
mean, not until you've tried it.
Doesn't really appeal to me as much.
Every hole's a goal.
Too much jollies over this sort of shelter building and like Fallout, that kind of nonsense. But
yeah,
I mean, I'd try it out. It might be fun.
Yeah.
But
Fair enough. Well, I mean, we haven't got long to wait now. Are you in any way tempted by the collector's edition?
not the collector's edition with the extra shenanigans. That piece that Pete mentioned, sort of the early access piece, and the sort of
that's a great idea. That's like
that bit I'm interested in.
I made an absolute fucking idiot of myself, like trying to like say, Pete, you're talking shit here, and then I forgot we all get it in Game Pass. So £31 to get 5 days early access plus the first DLC, and I don't know if it includes the season pass, but you're getting the first DLC and the sort of digital things like the digital art, digital soundtrack.
Digital soundtrack that fucking sold me.
Exactly. What was it? $31.49. You get that for, so not even the price of a game. You're getting it for the 1st of September.
Yeah.
I think that's well worth a look in. I was tempted with the collector's edition, but it comes with a case but no disc, which is a bit strange. You get a download
it comes with a steelbook. Yeah, so you're just going to open it up. Oh, please enter your 25-digit code.
Oh, fuck off! Yeah, that's me. No.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, even just the case for the watch, like the case for the watch has had work put in it.
Yeah.
Obviously, then you're getting the smartwatch on top of it, but just even the carry case alone is quite impressive. Yeah.
It does look good. I did mention it to my wife, but she wasn't so keen on me.
Well, I
£250 on her.
I showed my wife it, and she didn't say no. She just sort of laughed and was like, "Oh yeah, that's really cool," and then proceeded to walk out the office. And I was like, "So does that mean I'm allowed it, or you've left it as a really grey area here? Like, if this rocks up at the front door, is my bags getting packed, or are you going to be like, oh, I didn't realise you were going to buy it, but it's fine that you did." So I'm kind of like not too sure what I'm to do here.
Yeah, just don't tell her.
Exactly.
Well,
if it rocks up,
you can always emigrate down to England.
Exactly.
Just use the excuse. Oh yeah, it was a view copy. It was a view copy.
I've done that before.
Well, there we go.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, stuff looks very good. We've got Happy Cloud Gamer in the chat. Hello, Happy Cloud. How are you? And they say he says that it's not me protecting Starfield devs all about 30 frames, but most of the time I want to play games in 4K on a big screen versus 1440p 60 frames on a 4K TV. So he's quite happy by the sounds of it at 30 frames. He says next one. So Starfield runs at stable 30 frames. I would want that more than to sacrifice the detail just to hit 60 frames, which is exactly what we've just been saying, which is what all reasonable people think. I think, none of these internet trolls.
Even people were complaining like, oh, not everybody's got access to a 4K TV. Without sounding like entitled or spoiled, that's not Bethesda's problem.
No, and even if
But
you
You
haven't,
can't get a yeah.
30 frames on a 1080p TV. Like I'm going to play it on my Series S as well as my X, which is on the 1080p TV, and it's going to be perfectly fine. And
Yeah.
still 30 frames. I think we're fine.
Like Bethesda aren't in they aren't in the charity business. Like they make games for what the best fidelity, which is what they went for, is available. They can't help that people don't have 4K TVs, and I'm maybe coming across as entitled because I've got 2, but
Yeah, fuck you.
but
Middle finger.
I mean, like without saying bad, in this day and age, if you've got
I've got
if you've got a Series S or a Series X for the price that, well, maybe not the Series S, but if you've got a Series X for the price that you're paying for a Series X, you can buy a 4K TV.
This is true,
They're
and you
not-
can get some
it's-
decent ones for pretty cheap as well.
Yeah, it's not like you're in the fantasy world. Like 4K didn't come out last week, where it's like even for the bog standard fucking 32-inch, you're $3,000. They've been about long enough that you can get like that. It's not Bethesda's fault that they've made a game in 4K that people maybe don't have that sort of TV to support that. They've got to make what they make.
Yeah, and then you'll enjoy it whether you're playing on 4K or 1080p, or even if you wanted a fucking jammy cunt who's got 50 grand spared to buy an 8K TV, play it on there. It's going to look and play great regardless of what screen you're playing on.
Exactly.
So shut up, just shut up and enjoy it. Fucking hell. I mean, we've got a few months to wait until it's out. Obviously, like I said, 6th of September. I don't know if anyone mentioned the release date.
First of September. 1st of September,
1st of
Jay.
September early access, but the real release date is the best day of the year, obviously.
And see
I don't know
if you
anyone
see if
mentioned
you got to think about it. Just think of the immortal words of Jay and play the game and be nice, you cunt.
Hashtag be nice, you can't.
Hashtag be nice.
And speaking of hashtag be nice, you cunts, I just want to read out a bit of this petition that's gone up because it did make us laugh before we started.
fucking
And,
hilarious.
I mean,
Actually,
it's the person
I'm
whoever set
gonna
this
go
up,
one
what's his
better for
name?
you, Jay.
Benjamin. He's got to be taking a piss surely, because this petition that's gone up on change.org, which is obviously a site that people generally use for big, like real important matters, like something to do with government or laws or legislation. Like, we must change this. Is important. Someone's made a petition saying make Starfield a PS5 exclusive, not on PS5.
Just a PS5 exclusive. Take it away from Xbox completely.
Take it away and put it on PS5. And I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's quite wordy, but we'll read the first bit here. So, for over a decade, Bethesda games have been released on PlayStation. They perform better on PlayStation, run better, and sell better. I mean, completely not true, but okay. Xbox and especially Phil Spencer have no business taking them away. First, Xbox exclusivity will not only hurt PlayStation, but also the player base. When a major game like Starfield is only available on Xbox, it limits the player count of the game and stifles the amount of players PlayStation has. This means that now Microsoft can charge higher prices because they don't have competition and take away players from Sony. We cannot allow this.
Can we also just fact check for the fact that PlayStation put their prices up to £70 a game a year before Xbox did?
Yeah. And I'd like to just throw out some names. God of War, Horizon,
Spider-Man,
Last of Us, Uncharted,
Ghost of Tsushima.
Horizon, Ghost of Tsushima.
I don't know if did we play them on Xbox yet or not? I don't think we did.
Thing is, right? Most of them, I would almost allow. But see, when you have a massive entity like Spider-Man,
yeah, something like Spider-Man, and I don't know what you just said there, Ian, but think something like Silent Hill 2,
Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy as well. Yeah, I mean, PlayStation, they're allowed to do it, but Xbox,
and also another thing that I
find
find absolutely hilarious is the ponies in love with the fact that PlayStation might want to buy CD Projekt Red. So if the next Witcher game comes out solely on PS5, what does that just not matter?
No, but then we need to start a change.
No, it doesn't matter because Witcher's shit. But there we go.
Whoa! Can I read this next paragraph quickly, if that's all right, and then we'll stop it there because, like I said, this guy's got to be taking the piss. He says, second, Xbox and its 12 dedicated players do not deserve Starfield or any exclusivity. Not only are they arrogant and annoying, but since the showcase, they have been irritating. It's a psyop. They now purposely spread Starfield news to try and make us PlayStation owners upset.
I'm sorry. See if you get to the point where you have to start a change.org petition. Does that not make you very arrogant, annoying, and irritating?
Oh,
No.
do you know what? I kind of want to read the rest of this now because that was fucking brilliant.
Oh, the rest of us are brilliant, Reed. It's fantastic.
All right, I'll tell you what. Let's fucking enjoy this, shall we? Right, gentlemen, strap in because we're gonna go for this.
Go for it.
Third, exclusivity will not be good for Microsoft or Starfield itself. The matter is simple. If it releases on Xbox, it's a bad game. If it releases on PlayStation, it's a good game. There's no other way around it. Anyway, anyone who says otherwise is spreading fake news. Unless you want to see Starfield fail and be the buggiest, worst mess possible, you need to have it on PlayStation.
Reverting back to the Skyrim on PlayStation argument.
For all these reasons, it is important for Bethesda games to remain available on PlayStation. Not only that, but as a punishment to Xbox and its horrendous player base, we need to force any and all future Bethesda titles to only be PlayStation exclusives, not just Starfield. This would ultimately be good for everyone and not just Sony, as they have a history of investing heavily in first-party studios, and it could use its financial resources to make Bethesda games even better.
Because Sony are so much richer than Microsoft.
This guy has got to be taking the piss, surely.
Surely.
Additionally, Sony has a strong track record of marketing and promoting its games, which could help Bethesda games reach a wider audience and grow the PlayStation player count. Everyone agrees with me on this. We're nearly at the end, don't worry. We've got last paragraph, but I just want to say, obviously, Bethesda did have an exclusivity deal with like Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo before Microsoft purchased them. Did they make a big difference? I don't think it did really. Signing this petition is just the start. We need to go out and protest at GameStops and Walmarts on Starfield's release date. We need to submit legislation to our local representatives to force Microsoft to comply. We need to go out in mass and stop people from buying copies on launch date. Even better, go online and report every video you see praising Starfield until we make it exclusive for us and only us. YouTubers like a Mr. Matty Plays Bad Games, Review Fat USA, Lemon Juice Cavernical, and the Young Turds need to be cancelled immediately. If you're a true gamer, you will support this and sign. Right. Well, I'm convinced. I don't know about you lot, but I need to sign this petition right now. Let me have There's quite a lot of comments here. I don't want to read them all, obviously, but the first one is, I'm signing this because I want to leave a comment telling you that you're pathetic and need to get a life. Honestly, it has to be a joke. It has to be a joke. There's no way this is real. But unfortunately, 262 people have signed it. So there's at least 262 people, possibly 263 people who believe this.
329 signatures.
Oh, was it moved up? So I haven't refreshed the pages.
Holy shit, 329.
333 now, Ross. Jesus.
It's a
we
miracle.
need to promote. Let's get him some more signatures. If you want to go get gaming, get it properly signed up and back on the right track. Go and sign this petition right now because it is very.
I love how like the whole let's protest it. This is the same company who are willing to cut the whole of the United Kingdom out of games just to get a deal through the books. But it's fine. Fucking Benny doing it at GameStop in fucking Yanksville, Tennessee is quite happy. He's going to be the one that stops it.
Put the link to the chat.
Yeah, hang on, I've got it here. Hang on, I've got it.
No,
there you go, Happy Cloud, just for you. Oh, that is the funniest thing I've read for quite some time, and I really hope it's satire. Because if it's not satire, then we need some. Can
we get this? Love. Can we find this guy online? Just ask him to come on the show.
We need. I've closed it now. I should have done that. Let me get the guy back up. Hang on.
He's got a page. His page basically says United States.
We got to find Benjamin. If you somehow listen to us, I promise I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you. Please come on and tell us.
We support your cause.
Why we need to sign this James.org.
Support something.
That is the best read I've had for a while. You've done well. Thank you very much. You've made me laugh, and that's the important thing here. I'm completely sidetracked now because that just completely
Yeah,
caught me
I
off
think
guard.
we've lost the show.
Right, so Starfield is going to be
So
good.
good.
We got a couple of months to wait until it's out. Played at 30 frames per second on Series X and S. Apparently, Todd Howell's been playing it on S mostly, and he said it's really good there. I mean, obviously, he's going to say that, but I'm going to choose to believe him because
I don't
it's
Bring
Todd
that
Howell.
noise as well.
I think there's something with a motorbike outside my house. I'll take the blame for that one.
It's not Benjamin, is it? He's found you already.
He has. He's hunted me down.
Hunted you down.
I just realised on the fucking petition
Benjamin's
because I'm logged into my computer, it's actually got like not the city I stay in, but the like area I live in. I was like, oh shit, that's good. Benjamin outside, like fuck you.
Benjamin's coming to find you.
Exactly.
Benjamin,
It's
you're the
nice to
man.
find the
I
Highlands.
appreciate that. I need, yeah. I was gonna say, he just like popped over to the Highlands of Scotland. Like, right, it's like there's got to be one house here somewhere. It's like,
Beat me
three
down with his
houses, but
fucking
that one
dual
there.
sense controller.
I need Starfield. Anyway, let's compose ourselves because that was hilarious, and I that was thank you Ross for sharing that. Yeah, that was brilliant. Anyway, let's move on. We got a couple other bits, but we're going long because of that petition there. So
Because of
let's move
Benjamin.
on quickly.
Fuck
Oh,
you,
Benjamin, you're the fucking man. Fuck you, Benjamin. Hashtag be nice, you cunts. I don't even know where to go from here. We got a few bits from other interviews that Phil Spencer
Rapid
had
fire.
done, including they're not planning to shut Redfall Studio Arkane Austin, which I mean, why would they? The game was dreadful, but there's no reason to shut them down already. They're no longer developing games for Xbox One, which they said they
Thank
would
fuck.
stop doing 2 years after release, and I think it's been
Yeah.
longer than that at this point. So, so no more Xbox One official games from first party.
Thank fuck.
Kombat 1 online stress test launches next week, which you can still sign up for, as far as I'm aware right now. If you want to play Mortal Kombat for a few days, get in the beta / stress test / whatever it is. Excuse me, you can Google that and find the information there, and that's about it. Oh, and the Callisto Protocol final chapter comes out at the end of the month.
First on
And this will
PlayStation.
Please, Benjamin, you get 2 days early access on PlayStation. Benjamin is sleeping soundly, knowing that he's getting a bit of a Callisto Protocol early action. I might go back and check this out because I did enjoy the Callisto Protocol, but
No,
I'll have to
shit.
see what it is first. I'll have to see
Shit.
it first. It certainly wasn't as good as Dead Space, but it was good. Anyway, I think that's about the gist of the main things we got going on here. I'm still
Anything else you want to
just
talk about?
looking at the change thing, just having a good laugh. Anyone got any other news or information they want to drop before we move on to the final sections?
I'm going to throw a quick question out. It doesn't need to be a long answer. It just needs to be something that I've seen online in regards to it. Halo has been shipped under 343. Bungie was obviously the right way to go. If we acquire Activision Blizzard, would you like to see them given over the reins of Halo?
No.
No. Ian?
What? Sorry, I missed
Activision Blizzard, if we take it over, would you like them to be handed the reins of Halo?
Don't really give a fuck.
Great.
Yeah, why
I mean,
not?
I haven't,
Let them have a
played
stab.
that. Yeah, probably will because like I haven't played the last one.
What's your reason for no, Jay?
I don't want it to turn into a yearly grind where they're releasing Halo Black Ops 5 every year, you know.
That's not just Activision
just-
Blizzard. That's not the only things they do.
No, I know, but it's. I feel like handing Halo to someone like Activision is a recipe for disaster because then
Okay,
you're gonna get
Blizzard.
the Battle Royale, you're going to get the fucking yearly releases, you're going to get the DLC, you're going to be way too overpriced, and I mean, the shooting might improve maybe, but I mean, it's already pretty good. Even 343, who haven't really have a great track record, have still done pretty good at keeping the Halo feel. It's just they haven't made very good games to go with it.
Make me
And I don't
sick,
think
Jay.
Activision Blizzard are going to improve the combat. That they're just going to milk it for all it's worth, and I don't really want that. So I'm
Do you like the
gonna say-
Diablo games, yeah? Do you think Diablo's a good game?
I mean, I'm not really a big fan of Diablo. No,
I mean, Diablo is like one of the best games out just now, but you know that was done by
It's-
Blizzard. StarCraft, StarCraft,
yeah,
really big game. Yeah, that was really good.
StarCraft.
Yeah.
Isn't that the one
Was that
that's come
Starcraft? Is there? Or
Starfield.
Warcraft. I'm making up games now. They were pretty good. So Blizzard have quite a good track record of bringing out good games.
Blizzard
I
do,
would-
Activision.
Well, you're not just buying one of them.
No, yeah.
You're
But,
also
I mean,
getting
Blizzard
Candy
don't do-
Crush.
Yeah, give it to King. See what they can do with
Give
it.
the king. Just like little Covenant heads. Pull them together like grunts. Brutes get higher
Every now and then a
scores.
plasma grenade comes down. and
Exactly.
explodes
Oh,
everything.
clears the screen.
Yeah. No. We'll worry about that when the deal goes through. Haven't they got some sort of hearing next week or the week after? Is it?
Well, the FTC have just put out an injunction to try and get it blocked there and then, but Microsoft are like, fantastic. That means you get us in front of a judge quicker. Therefore, we've got all this argument lined up that you can just fire in right away.
Yeah, exactly. So I think by the end of the month, we'll know one way or the other whether it's going to
Yeah.
kick off
I-
or whether they're going to be like,
If it goes through the FTC, then the CMA are fucked. They're going to have to give in.
yeah.
You can't have the European Union, all the other countries, and the FTC saying, yep, we'll approve it, and the CMA going, no.
Yeah, especially considering they just gave Amazon a massive, nearly $2 billion deal with some robot vacuum
Yes, the
cleaner
robot
company or
cleaner. I've
something,
seen
and
that
everyone's
one,
like,
yeah.
I don't think. Yeah, quite keeping consistent. here.
Apparently, smart hoovers are not a big market in the smart home technology, so that's why it was allowed. What?
Yeah, I was going to say, apart from the article that was linked in one of the tweets, which was like, smart hoovers are supposed to be like the $50 billion industry by
Exactly.
2030.
But apparently doesn't.
Yes.
Assholes.
Yes. Well, I mean, again, that's beyond. We're not business folk right here, nor are we. Just looked at that change thing again. I can't stop looking at it. I've got to stop. I've got to get rid of it. Sorry. Let's move on to the final wrap up of the show, shall we? And then we can get to the after dark, which you can find on patreon.com/Xbox Tavern. If you want to join us over on Patreon, you can get the after dark episodes.
We're all
Ross,
naked as well.
I mean,
Who's naked?
sometimes
Sometimes.
in
You get to
this
see Jamie's forehead as well.
Yeah, Jamie takes his beanie off.
occasionally, I might give you a little peek, you know.
Big review.
But Ross,
And Ross gets
Ross-
his amazing rack out as well.
Oh, yeah. I'm all about my triple A's.
before we get to see your wonderful rack, tell me all about games coming to Game Pass.
So I'll do the ones that we've just had this last week. There wasn't many, and then the ones that we've still got for the rest of the month. So I'm going to butcher this name because it sounds very French. But
It is very French.
Dordogne, however you pronounce it, was June 13th on console, PC, and cloud. F1 2023 had a free trial in EA Play. The article said 5 hours, but normally it's a 10-hour trial, so I'd double check that. I would imagine it'll be a 10-hour trial for that. That again was the June 13th on console and PC. And the games that we've got upcoming this week on June 22nd is The Book Walker, Thief of Tales on console and PC.
Yeah, so definitely go check out that free trial. And I've heard lots of good things about Dordogne, whatever it's called. But
And not to sidetrack away from
to,
Pete's
check it out.
article, but they've introduced Breaking Point 2, so the story type mode in the Formula 1 game, which was really quite good. And I think they missed it in 2022. Was it 2020 and 21 that had it?
It's because there's two different studios.
I think it was.
Yeah, so they've now got Breaking Point 2 in this current version, so that's definitely worth a play because that was quite a good wee. It was
It's
very
over
much
2
like
seasons as well. So they've done last season and then this season.
so it was like, what was the one that was in FIFA? Gray.
Oh,
Alex.
Journey.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Journey.
Alex.
So it was like the
Journey,
Journey
Alex.
from FIFA. So it's very much that thing. You're basically an up and coming racing driver. Gives you like a background, your rival, and things like that. So it's quite good for people who like the idea of Formula 1, but don't like the monotony of, I've just got a course to race, therefore I'm going to race this and that's it done. At least it's got a bit of something to keep you entertained as well.
But it's not that entertaining because one of the guys is just an annoying wanker for the sake of it.
It's the same as the Journey
No,
in FIFA.
no one's ever that much of a cunt.
Everybody's like that. It's cunt.
Surely. Yeah. And then the other
I'm
guy
trying
you
to-
play as is such a basic white bitch, and he's just like, "Come on, mate, have some personality." But yeah, he's just a boy or bastard. And there we go.
Well, you can go
Risk-
check that out for yourself for 5 hours.
Yeah,
now.
go and check it out. Yeah,
on free, on Game Pass with EA Play. But I mean, it's not all basic white bitch stuff that we got to check out on Game Pass. We're also losing games. And Ian,
No.
tell me it's that stuff that's leaving us.
Sorry, that basic white pitch made me laugh. We got Match Point Tennis Championship.
I
Empire
reviewed
of
that.
Sin.
It was shit.
Which one? Match Point or Empire?
Yeah, it's not a big loss to Game Pass. Put it like that.
That's fine. Road 96, Omawami, DJ Max Respect V or 5, depends which one you go with, and that one. Lodja, that one.
Olija, let's go with that. Yeah.
Olija.
I did start playing because I wanted to play Road 96 and I didn't realize it was leaving so soon. And it's really not the game I thought it was. So I played like an hour yesterday and it didn't quite grab me as much as I'd hoped. DJ Max Respect V though, do you know what? I fucking enjoyed that. That was good, like a rhythm based game, but it's like it's almost like what's that game you like, Ian, with the drum one?
Taikyu Jitsu. Takamitsu, that one.
Yeah, so it's almost like that, but obviously you've got like the Guitar Hero like scrolling note bar. But the songs on it that I played at least were really, really good. And you could like increase or decrease the speed of the note track like on the fly. So if you want to make it a bit harder, you could fast speed it up. If you want to take it a bit easy, you can slow it down and give yourself a bit more of a chance. And I played it on the cloud, and even on the cloud, it was surprisingly responsive. So yeah, I actually really enjoyed that.
And another thing about the Game Pass games leaving that we don't mention enough is if you've picked up any of these games, as Jay was saying, DJ Max Respect V, if that's one of the games that you quite enjoy playing, before they jump out of Game Pass, 20% off. So if you want to buy them and keep playing them, you're still quids in because you're saving 20% on all these games.
Highly recommend you do that before. What's at the end of the month? They get these ones are going out, I think.
Because you see people saying, I like to own my games, so Game Pass, like I don't like Game Pass because I like to own my games. Well, no, we stopping you owning them. If they're going to leave Game Pass, you get 20% off them as well. So you're still quids in for that.
Quids in, get on it. Yeah, definitely go check out that one if you're even remotely into rhythm games. So I enjoyed that very much. Graham, Games with Gold. Things we can get for free. Tell me all about them.
We have Adios, which is now available until June the 30th. And the one that's recently come in is The Veil. And that's from June the 16th to July the 15th.
Nice. So yeah, go check them out. You can get them for free. Even if you're not going to play them right now, add them to your download list and you can play them as and when you choose, as long as your subscription continues. Right, gentlemen, we've been going nearly 2 hours again this week, mainly because we read the change.org, which was the funniest thing I think I've ever read.
That was brilliant.
On this podcast. I look forward to going back and signing that once we've finished here. But you can find us, we're going to do Xbox Tavern After Dark in a minute. Once we've finished here, you can find that on patreon.com/Tavern. But in the meantime, if you want to find us on the socials, you can find me on Twitter @EnaxAn. You can find Graham
at Graham Reaper,
Ross
at Scottish Gruff,
and Ian
at Nutty Way.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening. We'll see you next week at 8 p.m.
Hey.
And remember,